Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for all your football debates, opinions, and discussions. It's been 3 days now that the year 2020 has been done, and we're still a good 1 month away from club football. So, we've decided to squeeze as much year 2020 content right now as possible. For today's video, it's actually quite an interesting one. I make a Euro 2020 team of the tournament using only one player per nation, and trust me, it's a lot more difficult than you are thinking right now. For this video, we at the Parliament try to be as fair as just to each and every player. So I am disregarding how far the nations and how well the nations have done in this tournament and giving only credit to the individual performances to the players. For that, it might be very astonishing that we start with a player who actually has been knocked out in the group stages, yet makes it to the team of the tournament. This is partly due to the fact that I am just taking the individual performances in account, and also that I can use just one player from per nation. We start with Finland's goalkeeper, Lukas Radetsky. Radetsky was an absolute rock at the back in the group stages, making 4.7 saves per 90 and easily exceeding his XG conceded. I'm sorry. The only reason why you could not see keepers like Donnarumma or maybe Jordan Pickford, even Kasper Schmeichel, is because probably their teammates would find their spots in some other places in this team. Moving on to the right back position, it's a Spanish representative in Cesar Azpilicueta. Well, all I can say is that Spain was struggling in their first two games. They did not even have a qualification guaranteed. That's when they made a slight change at right back. I think it was Marcus Llorente who was starting at right back. But in the third game, they introduced Azpilicueta. And since then, the Spanish team has looked like a completely different unit, especially from that right hand flank. Azpilicueta also scored a very important goal against Croatia, and he has 86 touches per game. He's almost 90% passing accuracy. So it's been a very composed performance from Azpilicueta. I really loved the way he played. They were a bit unfortunate to get knocked out on penalties. But for the right back position, we've got Cesar Azpilicueta as the Spanish representative. Moving on to the two centre backs. The first one, uh, I think probably the centre back of the tournament, definitely one of the best centre backs in world football right now. And if uh, no one could predict a year back that I'd be saying this right now, but it's truly amazing how Harry Maguire has turned his career around. I really, really like this player. He scored a goal. He's been amazing passing it out from the back. He's been rock solid. He missed the start of the tournament due to injury, but since he's returned, he's been a standout figure in a very, very composed backline for England. They've barely conceded any goals, have they? None from open play, actually. Also scored a very important goal, did Harry Maguire. Anyway, moving on to the next centre back, it is one of the heroes of the tournament, I should say. It is Simon Kier, and I really want to give him the spot, not just for his, you could say, what happened in the first match, the great captaincy, the great leadership he showed, but also his on-field performances. I think Kier was an absolute revelation at the back for the underdog story of this tournament, which is Denmark. I was actually a bit confused between Kier and Christensen over here. According to me, both of them were great. I just gave it to Kier because of the captaincy and the fact that, just you can't exactly ignore what happened in the first match and how Kier firstly gave a CPR to X and he consoled his wife. And all of this is just great to see. It's a victory for football. And to honor him, why not a spot in this team? Moving on to the left back. I think left back is one position where many people have shined in this tournament. Or you could say some of the best players in the tournament. Luke Shaw, a left back. Spinazzola, also a left back. You've got Joachim Miley, also a left back. But then if you see, you've got Luke Shaw's nation represented over here, as is the case with is the case with some of the other Miley over here and Spinazzola soon to come. So for the left back position, I'm actually giving it to Robin Gosens, who was great in Germany's short run at the Euros. Obviously, Germany did, you could say, underperform a group stage. Uh, they did well in the group stage, fairly well, but then round of 16 exit is something you'd be expecting better from a nation that won the World Cup just 7 years ago. And Gosens, however, was one of the best players for Germany. I'd say Gosens, Kroos, Havertz were probably the top three players for Germany. And now just his performances have been overshadowed by the fact that his nation didn't do particularly well. But yeah, the parliament, as I've said, we're going to be acknowledging the individual performances of the players, and thus we cannot go without mentioning Robin Gosens. For the center defensive mid, it's my favorite player of the tournament. People have called me a bit biased to claim that he is one of the players of the tournament, but I think there is no doubt that he is one of the players of the tournament. It's just that he is the main or the best player of the tournament. According to me, he was, but I'm going to give this spot to Jorginho, who took the tournament by storm after winning the Champions League with Chelsea. He also won the Euros, and he also covered the most distance in the tournament, made the most interceptions, which was actually a new Euro record. 26 interceptions, 14 or 12 clear of whoever was in the second place in this Euros. I don't think I need to say a lot about Jorginho controlling the tempo, dictating the game of the play. My register, I'm going to put Jorginho in 100%. Moving on to one side of the centre mid, that's one number 8, and I'm going to give it to Paul Level Pogba. I think Pogba was one of the contenders for player of the tournament had his nation, you know, played in till the quarters or probably till the semis. But you don't really get a player of the tournament awards for getting knocked out in the in the round 16. But Pogba individually, even the game they got knocked out, they were poor defensively. Pogba was a standout figure. Completed many dribbles. His through balls were just so they were a delight to an eye. And yeah, I think Pogba is a no-brainer in this team. And then the next side of the centre mid is another very unpopular choice. Many people have got Pedri in their teams, and I particularly have been very impressed by Pedri. It's just that I had to put a Spanish player at right back because, according to me, the only standout right back in the tournament was Kyle Walker, but we can't put him due to Harry Maguire. Even Giovanni Di Lorenzo, I don't think he was as good as you could say a Jorginho. So I can't put Pedri in here. For that, I've gone for a Ukrainian player. And one player I think I've been really, really impressed by. It's just that people aren't speaking about him enough because of the fact that his nation hasn't proceeded out of the, you could say, where was it, quarterfinals. But it is Alexander Zinchenko. As I've said, I've been really impressed by Zinchenko's performance. Although he does play at right back for Manchester City, I have put him away because of the fact that he plays in the left midfield position for his national team, which is the Ukrainian team, where you could easily swap Zinchenko and Robin Gosens over here. Both of them are quite interchangeable when it comes to positions. Zinchenko, I think, yeah, it's quite an unpopular choice, but I really think that he deserves a spot in the team. Moving on to the front three, as you could see, I've gone for a two-striker formation, and the choice of players might explain it why. Well, one reason I would want to give is that I couldn't see a world-class right winger, not one particular right winger that I've been really impressed by. Ferran Torres was good. Chiesa was very good, I think, but I've already had Jorginho, because of which I just noticed that two standout strikers and one standout cam, in my opinion, that would make this team. For the cam, I'm going for Sweden's Emil Forsberg, who actually scored 4 goals in this tournament. He was undoubtedly their best player, a bit unlucky to miss out on a quarterfinal match due to a very late goal by Ukraine. But yeah, it's Forsberg. I think the fact that he has 4 goals from midfield, second high, no only two players have got more than him. He was great to watch. He was amazing on the ball. He was always Sweden's most threatening player, and I think he rightfully deserves a spot in the team. For the two strikers, one of them, they are the two strikers that have scored the most number of goals in the tournament, jointly tied at 5 goals each. It is Patrick Schick from Czech Republic and the GOAT Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal. Both of them have scored 5 goals. Well, both of them had to find a spot in this team, but if I had to choose one, I would have gone for Schick without a doubt. I think that the fact that Ronaldo's 3 goals for penalties, I'm not saying that penalties aren't goals, but in my very humble opinion, I definitely think that penalties are easier to score. Sheikh, on the other hand, scored the goal of the tournament. He played for, you could say, a weaker team, but nevertheless, both of them find their place in the 11. Romelu Lukaku, even Robert Lewandowski would be a bit unfortunate to miss out. But yes, this is my Euro 2020 team of the season using one player per team. Some very unpopular choices, especially when you see Robin Gosens, you see Lucas Radetsky, you see Simon Kier, you see Zinchenko, even Forsberg. These are people that I don't think are being spoken about enough due to an underwhelming performance from their team. And I just decided that this video would be a good platform for them to get the acknowledgement they deserve for their individual performances. They would have definitely received a lot more hype, a lot more appreciation if had the nations done well. So yes, reading it out from back to front, Radetsky, Gosens, Maguire, Kiev, Aspilicueta, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Pogba, Forsberg, Schick, and Ronaldo make my Euro 2020 team of the season with only one player from one nation. I hope you like this video. For more top quality football content, keep listening to the Football Parliament podcast.